Visionary entrepreneurs and life changers. It's Thursday again. Can you believe that? Every Thursday we've been hosting our Abundant Soul Leadership episodes since since the very beginning. We started as inspiration and implementation time live with Spring, and every Thursday through the whole 2018 and now 2019, and now it's in April. The time really flies, right? I hope you already get a chance to enjoy some of our previous episodes. And yesterday, actually, since the last week, every day I've been on the challenge of Facebook Live. So every day I've been showing up on Facebook Live on my page, Spring Zheng, Love, Serve, Fulfill, and to share with you great learnings and inspirations and very fresh. Every day is like my best learning to share with you. So hope you have already enjoyed it. And today our topic is about, would you like to pay the price of great leadership? And actually, yesterday I shared this book, The Leadership Shift. I hope you would like to recommend it. John Maxwell, one of the best leadership mentors and best authors on the leadership. And I've been reading his book, and previously I did not find time, but now I really get into it. Initially, at the first chapter, I said, a little bit boring, like leadership, all this kind of blah, 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 like concepts, right? But once I really get into it, dig into it, and many great inspirations and wisdoms. So yesterday I shared a topic about from goals to growth and different mindset from a short term to long term. And today, this chapter, I really love it. It's the perks to price. So it's really a great reminder for me. So many people want to be leaders, right? So what are they really pursuing? That's a great reminder. Many entrepreneurs, they want to be leaders in the market. Many of them may want to get a better, impact to make more money, right? Many of us entrepreneurs, I think they are driven by making more money and get a better lifestyle, and it's almost like a me, what I can receive, what I can get from this, right? And some other people in the corporate world, for example, they want to get to a higher ladder in the corporate to become a leader or the higher level of management, right? What they are pursuing. They want all the perks, all the the higher income and better reputation, and more recognition from people, and to meet their satisfying what they want. So what they are pursuing is really what they want receive from the leadership instead of what they can give as the leader to other people. So here, John Maxwell compared between leaders who focus on perks and leaders who focus on price. So what's the difference? And the leaders who want to really focus on perks, they ask what I can receive, right? Even unconsciously, whatever they do, they will ask ourselves inside of it. They say, what I can receive from this? Should I do this? What kind of benefits I can get from it, right? But real leaders who focus on the price, like what I can pay for it, and out of like a service of kind of a spirit, they will ask what I can give. And the leaders who focus on perks will say, how will this decision affect me? And leaders who focus on price will say, how will this decision affect others? They always think about others, put themselves as a servant. And the leaders who focus on perks will ask, how long will this take my time, right? If I do this kind of thing, how much I have to, really like from a money kind of a concept, how much I have to pay for this? How long will this take my time, and what I can get from it? But leaders who focus on the price will ask, how far can we go? Can we go? Not just I go, not just focus their own personal growth, but also like their followers, how together we can go far. And by the way, I'm having someone joining me live. Hi, how are you? Feel free to comment. I want to have some live interaction with you. Who are you? Where you come? Okay. And then the leaders who focus on perks will ask, what will you give me to stay in the game? They take the leadership as a game, right? And in the markets, many people want to go higher and in the rank, and want to have more feel more importance, want to have more impact in other people's lives. But they want to say, what will you give me to stay in the game? Otherwise, I do not want you to be in my game. But the leaders who focus on the price will ask, what must I give to stay in the game? Okay, what must I give to stay in the leadership game? Otherwise, people would not want to follow me, right? Otherwise, I'm not valuable to other people. So here, John also further shared about, let me say, 3 big, very important points about being a leader, your price points. The first one about reality. Leaders recognize that everything worthwhile is uphill. So that's why today I put a picture of climbing a mountain about my event picture. It's a person who is climbing the mountain, and you can see that it's very steep mountain and slope, and people will, as a leader, you really need to put effort. It's not like just like a, I'll say, either it's not a go downward, it's not a flat, like very flat road. Leadership is really like uphills. It's always like you're climbing the mountain. It's risky, it's a little dangerous, right? It's not easy at all. It's like difficult. So you have to put your efforts. And so let's see. He said if it doesn't, he shared someone else. Okay, the inspiration is like, if it doesn't suck, it's not worth doing. Something like, well, if anything is easy, it does not worth doing. Only when it's difficult, because when it's difficult, most people do not want to do it. And then when you do it, you will become the leader and a unique person who really generates values from it. So we should have this right perspective that our leadership will be always be uphill all the way. It will not go down. It will never be easier. It will always like go uphill. It's like unlimited mountain for you to keep climbing. So that's a great challenge for all of us, right? And here I especially like what he shared about the Stockdale paradox. Stockdale, this story is very touching me. Stockdale was admirer. Let's say it's a Navy vice admiral, James Stockdale. He was highlighted. He was interviewed by Jim Collins in Jim Collins' book "Good to Great," From Good to Great. And Stockdale was a pilot who spent the time in the war, in the Vietnamese war, and he was shot down and also like get imprisoned in Vietnam, the notorious Hanoi Hilton place, and he was frequently tortured, abused, and stayed there a long, long time. Let me see, how long did he mention? He did not mention exactly how many years he stayed there, but you can imagine during that wartime, and as a prisoner, he stayed there and was tortured. And but he introduced that he never lost his faith, and who people around him, many of them died because what he shared very surprisingly. He said, oh, those optimists died because those optimists said, oh, we will be rescued by Thanksgiving, or we will be rescued by Christmas. They always put that hope on, right? And when the reality, when the fact disappoint them time from time, every time they put their hope on there and they got disappointed, and eventually they gave up and they died with disappointment. And but what Stockdale shared is like his wisdom through that through this whole experience is here the Collins called is Stockdale's paradox. Stockdale said that retain the faith that you will prevail in the end, regardless of the difficulties, and at the same time confront the most brutal facts of your current reality, whatever they might be. So this is really the paradox, the combination of both the faith and the brutal facts. And many people focus only on the faith and hope, and they want to escape, ignore the difficulty and the reality. Sometimes it's really brutal, and it's a long journey, right? It's like a long tunnel. It's so dark. It's like almost you cannot see it, and many people could not sustain through this reality. So in this Stockdale paradox, we focus both on our faith that eventually we will prevail. We will, succeed. We will, we put this example, for example, our entrepreneurship, right? Entrepreneurship, I've been in it 10 years as a coach. And it's a long journey, really. Many times I get, difficulties, challenges, darkness, and pains, right? Strugglings, never easy. And always like up and down, right? Sometimes you create some good things, you get some good feedback, you will be happy. But majority time, you may taste the failures and pains and difficulties, right? So if you could not, have this kind of confront the fact, realize the fact, the reality is hard. If you do not have that preparation, it's very easy for many entrepreneurs, startups fail or give up, right? Many people give up in the first year or fail in the first year because their expectation is only like, oh, I'm so passionate about this, and I look forward I will succeed, right? That's a great hope. But they did not realize this journey is so hard, and they did not get prepared for that. Once they meet so many difficulties and so many failures, they give up. So this is really this paradox. That's why I especially love it, because it gave me an encouragement. Because through this journey, many times, especially as entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, we feel so lonely, right? Feel lonely, and sometimes we don't know how we can get out of it. And even though we could have great communities, for example, I have my community, Abundant Entrepreneurs, on the Facebook. You're welcome to join us if you're passionate and purposeful entrepreneurs. But the majority time, other people cannot really share your strugglings, right? You have to go through by yourself. And that's where this Stockdale paradox is very encouraging. And when I read it, I just like highlighted it and love it. And then, so he said, when you don't prepare for the worst wins. I love this quote, right? It's really like, when you don't prepare for the worst wins. That's true. So whatever we do, we like, it's not right, it's not wrong to be like really optimist, to have positive thinking, positive vision, right? It's not wrong with that. But at the same time, you need to prepare for the worst. Have that preparation in your perspective, in your mindset, in your commitment, so that you will not let the worst win you, okay? And the second part he mentioned about, the first is really I just mentioned, is about the reality, right? The paradox, remember that. And the second part I mentioned about example. Leaders set up examples. Especially leaders acknowledge they must climb the hill first. It's not like, oh, you are standing on the bottom of the hills and call other people, oh, get on it, and just be an encourager. Just call other people to, just be a cheerleader. No, leaders will not just be a cheerleader. Leaders first need to be the climber. You need to be the first one to lead other people to climb. And then you can stand on the top, the first one on the top, and to call other people, follow me, come up. I can help you to get up as well. So what sets great leaders apart from all other leaders, here is the great leaders and the majority, like mediocre and normal leaders, is that great leaders act before others and they do more than others. So it's not just what we are saying. We're not just like say things. We're not just have vision, see things before other people. Not just say more than other people, right? It's not just a visionary. I call our people our visionary entrepreneurs and life changers. But what really makes us different is not just in our vision, but it's what we do. What do we do before other people, and what do we do more than other people? So that makes people great compared with like ordinary leaders. And these actions leaders take that inspire others to follow, to rally to the vision. You see, it's our action that really inspire. Whatever, how great you are in speakers, or whatever you are so good at telling people, but if you are not doing it, it's not really inspiring. And similarly, as a parent, I don't know if you are a parent. I have 2 kids. So if I just tell them, you should do this, you should do that, really, they never really listen to you, right? Because they're not inspired by that. Only when you share, like in your action, really as a role model, in your own action. For example, if I read books, right? I love reading books. And also, like, if every day I focus on working my job and focus on what I'm doing, my kids will just like unconsciously, they will follow that role model. Instead of if I telling them, you should do this, you should read books, they will not listen. So I'm happy so far. My kids are like good readers and they love learning. That's great. And also because I love outdoor activities, I always show them, I bring them to outdoor so they could we have a fun time together. And for example, like swimming, that's part of the example I mentioned another day. For swimming, I encourage my kids to do the swimming, right? If I did not get into the water, they would still be afraid of water. That's why I encourage myself, I challenge my fears and limitation. I jumped into the water and learned swimming, and my kids followed me. And eventually they are now even more, better than me, more advanced swimmer than me. So really our actions inspire people to follow us, okay? So when you say follow me, that can convince people instead of you just have to stand outside of the journey and other people, oh, you follow me. You cannot even say to follow me, right? You need to do the things and ask people to follow me. So here, John defined the follow me leaders. That's a great definition, follow me leaders. And they have the three characters. Follow me leaders, they believe in themselves before and more than others do. So this is very important to differentiate follow me leaders from other majority leaders, right? The leaders are not like, oh, when other people think I'm leader, then I'm leader. No. Follow me leaders really, they've already believed in themselves before any other people even recognize them. For example, I had a mentor before. She actually delighted me to be a leader, but I believed in myself. She said, oh, you're not so leaders yet. You need to be like this level of success. Like, for example, Tony Robbins and some of them, they are thought leaders, right? She delighted me to be a thought leader. But I respect her comments. I did not argue with her, but in my heart, I know that I'm a leader. And I'm just not even a normal leader. I know I have these qualities to be a great leader. And that's why I'm sharing this message with you. So even though other people even delight you and other people judge about you and they do not recognize you, the real leader, you have the belief in yourself, that knowing that you are the leader. And in the difficult times, you know that you can stand up and also stand in front of other people and call other people, follow me. I know that I'm such kind of a leader. Whenever there's a difficulties, when other people give up, when other people do not want to stand up, and I would be the person. But of course, every time I give other people the opportunity to, really lift them up, lift other people up, that's what I want to be, like a leader of like service. But when other people do not want to stand up and get in the front, I will be the person. I will not, push away this responsibility. I take it as the honored responsibility. So that's a belief in yourself, even before and more than others do, okay? And if you don't live it, you don't believe it, okay? And if you really believe it, you need to live it. So whatever you do in your business, in your daily life, even in your parenting, in your a friendship, in the community you're you are leading or you are participate in, always live it. If you don't live it, you don't believe it, okay? So you show that in your action. And the second character I mentioned about the follow me leaders is really set expectations for themselves before and more than others do. The expectations is really inside the standards you set up for yourself. You put like real leaders, they put high standards for themselves. And many times I feel that way. It's really like other people did not expect. Many of my friends even persuaded me, you do not need to be so busy and you do not need to do so much. You just like, you can have more time to enjoy life. Of course, I enjoy life, but my standards is different from other people, right? I want to be a greater, always pursue that personal growth, always investing in myself to learn from greater ones and really like explore my potential inside of it. So really leaders, you will set up a higher standards than other people set for you. And you do not need other people to motivate you or to push you. You have that strong self-motivation to go ahead. And by the way, feel free to comment and give me thumbs up and let me know if I'm sharing good things with you and you're really getting inspired by it. And the third character is about the follow me leaders. They really make commitments to themselves before and more than to others. So the commitments, and you want to be greater. You want to really express your full potential and to serve more people. That's the commitments you have before and more than other people. So a commitment to integrity, responsibility, and selflessness. So that's a commitment as a great leader. And now we previously introduced from the perks to price. The first is the reality, right? And then have the expectation. Let's see, the second one. Oh, example. The second one is put an example, so you will be the follow me leader and call other people to follow you. So you will be the first one to climb the mountain. And now the third one is very super important, and that this one is really eventually in long run differentiate you from other, like from between the great leaders and other just good leaders. This is consistency. And today someone other entrepreneur in my group, Abundant Entrepreneur, shared another really resonate message is about persistency. Here persistency is also here is in John Maxwell's book is a consistency. And many people you maybe learned about that. Oh, in the marketing you should be consistent, and in entrepreneurship you should be persistent, right? Consistent, always show up there in the consistency, so that people will feel safe. They feel that you're reliable, and that's also a responsibility and a commitment to show up through your consistency. And so leaders understand they never get to stop climbing. Yeah, this is really good reminder, because initially when I started entrepreneurs, I thought, oh, when I get to what kind of level, right, I could stop someday. I could relax and retire and enjoy my life. So this is really good reminder that, and John at his early stage of leadership, he also thought that way. He thought, oh, after I get to a certain level, get all this kind of how to say impact, then I could retire and just enjoy the benefits from it, right? So many of us may think about that way, but the real great leadership is not that. You will never stop. It's really like a lifelong, like our lifelong learning. Your lifelong learning and growth, you would never like to stop it. You want to keep on, right? So if you desire to go to higher level of leadership, you need to keep paying the price. So that's the price he mentioned. The price is the consistency. The price about the difficulty of the reality, right? The hard reality. The price is that you need to keep climbing at the first one, and then ask other people to follow you. So these all are the price you need to prepare to pay as a great leader. So, and the signature of excellence is relentless consistency. So if you really want to keep to be the, how to say, at the excellence, really get to your full potential, you need to keep this relentless consistency. Yeah, sometimes this reminded me, think about Brendan Burchard, right? He's still young. I think he's younger than me, in his early 40s maybe. And Brendan Burchard, one of the best students of Tony Robbins, and he's now is almost like his reputation, his impact almost comparable with Tony Robbins. And he is really like a great example of relentless, how to say, consistency. Every day he's been showing up there and showing up his great energy and cheerful, positive, and really like, how to say, it can really, how to say, get out of the ceiling, that kind of energy, very passionate. So it's very inspiring. And another example, Steven Larson in the ClickFunnels community. And Russell Brunson himself, right? He's really a great role model. And every day he's been showing up there and giving great examples. And he's been learning, and the best market secrets he's been sharing. So all these great examples, and Steven Larson is always like yelling, "Oh, what's up?" like that kind of a really uncomparable, the unparalleled passion to showing there. So this is like a signature of excellence. If you can really show up there and showing your relentless, consistent passion, energy, that will differentiate you from majority other people. And that's one of the secret of success as well. And here, I especially love this story of, let's say, consistent. Oh, by the way, here is a summary of why consistency is so important. There are three, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 important thing. Why consistency? First, consistency provides security for other people. If you consistently showing up there, people know that, right? You are reliable, you are really committed, and that gives them a sure and knowing that you will be there to serve them. So that's very important. So that's a fundamental, like a psychology kind of a assuring. Hi, Nikita, how are you? Thanks for joining me live. And now I'm gonna keep sharing about the the price to pay as a great leadership. And now consistency establishes your reputation. Really, like majority of other people could not do. If you can do that, the most difficult thing, if you can do, that will differentiate you from majority other people. So that's build up your reputation as well. And reputation is not just the overnight. Many people think that, oh, some people overnight become successful. There's never really overnight success. Like Russell mentioned, he looks like 16 years old. I know he's at his late of 30s, still young, right, compared with us. So he's now successful, but before that, he's been failing of about 15 years, even though he looks young, right? So he started his entrepreneurship when he was still in the college. Even he started like being interested in all this kind of marketing messages when he was even in a school, maybe middle school. So that's amazing, right? Some people are just like get inspired very early. So lucky him. And so that's a reputation. You need to build it up through the journey. It's never an easy journey. And like Tony Robbins, he's famous, right? But he's been in the coaching, in the mentoring for over 40 years already. He now this year is close to 58 or 60. I don't know his exact age, but your reputation is never overnight. Like John Maxwell, this book is especially also inspiring to me. It's like everyone only look at all this like glowing right outside, oh, they are successful. But when you really read into their journey, it's like how they've been feeling through their journey. And John shared his story, like he had a most difficult as a church leader, when he was hosting the church, they want to expand the church to a bigger place. That took him, they've been like for proposing for the construction, getting all this approval, and then make it building a new building for the church. And that journey they estimated to be for like 3 or 4 years to finish that project, and ended up all this kind of adversities, difficulties, and challenges. And then he spent 8 years on that project, and his successors spent another 5 years, so totally 13 years to finish that big church's renovation and a new building kind of project. So, but through that kind of adversity journey, he also built up his reputation to have this consistency and persistency, right? So never think about other people have their overnight success, okay? Don't take that for granted. All the reputation is built up step by step, one break on another break. Okay, and another way, success, consistency, why is important? Because it keeps you in the leadership game. Like earlier we mentioned about the game. Leadership is a game, but it's not just for playing. It's really a serious game. If you're not consistent, if you say, oh, for this kind of while, for this year, I may want to take a break, have some rest, and maybe next year I will catch up. That's very difficult. Then you may be out of a game, because if other people are keep growing, keep investing, keep committing to to showing up and to give values, and you interrupt there, and will be difficult for you to recatch up. Some of our examples, simple examples, many of us have our email list, right? And I noticed that quite some people, whatever reason in their life, they interrupt to communicate with their email list, and they showed up after many months later, or maybe even over 1 year or 2 years, they showed up. So, oh, sorry, some reasons, right? And they showed up, but people already forgot you. They don't know who you are anymore. They don't know if in their memory, they could not remember what values you were being providing. They will immediately unsubscribe from your list. So I had a personal experience from that, because I sometimes say people, oh, just greeted to me. I never remember, oh, when did I meet this person, or what kind of values he brought to me. Then I would just unsubscribe, because we get so many such kind of emails, right? So very important, consistency keeps you in the game. So, and that's a part of the price, right? If you want to stay in the game, you develop the habits of success, you will make success a habit. So very important. Develop the habits of success. One of the habits will be consistent, showing up every day, okay? Be committed every day. And then consistency, this is super important. I love this story. Okay, it's a compounds. Many people, if you maybe heard about this in finance industry, right? Compounding interest, compounding, investment, right? Here, consistency really compounds. Why? Wealth, like a wealth that grows based on continual reinvestment. That's in the financial industry. But in our entrepreneurship, in our leadership, your consistency will also compound if you keep doing the things day by day, day by day. And that will, here is a great story about, if I don't know if you play basketball or not, or maybe you familiar with this. The professional basketball player, his name is Cal Ripken Jr. By the way, I was not familiar with this person, but after I read this story, so inspiring to me. Ripken Jr., right? He played in 2,632 consecutive games, the Major League Baseball record by a long shot. And so far, I don't know if this is still the biggest record, and he's so much ahead of another one. The second one, no, let's say the last name is Jerrick with 2,160. So he's almost 500 more games than the second person. And even how many people? Not so many people in the top 10. Many of them the numbers are far behind him. But what's his success? He shared his success because his father trained him to show up every morning, every day, to show up and get ready. So that his coach, right, when he's in his practice, in his exercise, everyday preparation, he's showing up, never stopped for how many years? Let's see. He showed up, oh my God. So he showed up, worked hard, played hard, and gave his best every day for 16 years straight. 16 years straight. You know that every athlete, their life is that long. Many athletes, even they are over 30, people will think they're old, right? Their skills, like physical skills, will getting down. So 16 years. That means he maybe if he started when he was just a few years old, right? He started to play the leagues, the major league, maybe in his early 20s. So after 16 years, maybe by he was 36, he was still playing. So that's a very long record. No wonder such kind of commitment and consistency earned him the best record in the Major League Baseball. So that's a very inspiring story. So I said, wow, but in our entrepreneurship, we have actually longer lifespan than any athletes, right? So that means I could, initially I was thinking, maybe I could retire after 30s or 70s. So that means when I started 35, I will work in this, in the coaching for 35 years. But then look at Tony Robbins. He has been a coaching, mentoring strategist for over 40 years. So if you really love to do something, that's good news, right? It's like you need to really love something. Otherwise, you cannot imagine you will work over your 70 or even 80 years, right? And John Maxwell, I think he's quite old. I don't know his exact age. From his face, maybe he's over, he mentioned he's over 72 years old when he was writing this book. 72 years old, and now he must be like older than this. So he's still in the game for the consistency. So entrepreneurship and leadership is really a lifelong game. Okay, so are you prepared? Are you prepared to pay the price to be a great leader? Of course, if you do not want to be a great leader, you can easily take off all this kind of price. You say, I just want normal life. I just want to make some money, and then I want to retire after 60 or 70, right? Retire. Yeah, it's all the choice. But for those of us, our visionary entrepreneurs and life changers, when you are called to be a great leader, you are called to really generate a great impact, to serve other people, to give your talents, to give your gifts to impact other people. You do not want to stop the game, right? You would like to pay the price. I know I would like to pay the price. I could not imagine like one day I just doing nothing and do not give any value to contribute to other people. I could not imagine such kind of a day. And Other people may call that like a normal retirement and enjoy their life. I could still enjoy my life. I could still have great lifestyle. I could still take great vacations with my families, right? But as great leaders, you take that responsibility and you climb first, and you would like to keep sharing the great things you've been learning through the way. So, and you do not want to stop again. Okay, so I hope today you get some inspiration from today's sharing about the price, and would you pay the price of great leadership? I hope your answer is yes, and you get prepared. Remember that paradox, you have the faith that eventually you will prevail, you will succeed, and you will succeed, you will impact many people, and you will give your values to really contribute to the world, to change the world. And at the same time, you have the preparation that this journey is never easy. It's always uphill. It's always climbing up. And you're always reaching your better potential, like a better version of yourself, and will be consistently like act and do the things, be the first one, and call other people to follow you. So I hope you will get, feel free to comment, and hope this is helpful for you. And we'll see you tomorrow, because I'm on Facebook Live every day. We're bringing you hopefully inspiring message and new values to you. Thank you. Stay in the game, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.